this market. Apart from that, like any advertorials that you see in any of the magazines, any of the newspapers, any of the radio ads that you see, it's through us. See the... but am I blocking you? Yeah, can you see? Okay. We do a lot of PR activities. We do a lot of press conferences in conjunction with the German ambassador or any of the German consulates. So now we'll take you to a little trip to Germany. But before that, I just wanted to tell you that you should try. I'm sure you are aware of the Switzerland. So the biggest advantage that Germany has that all these countries share a border with German borders. For instance, France is here, Switzerland is here, Austria, Czech Republic, Poland, Denmark, Netherlands, and Belgium and Luxembourg. So you realize that 5 of the most important countries that you generally hear, or most important countries you generally hear, are very close to Germany. And that's why Germany is included in most of the longer route itineraries where people maybe come directly into Amsterdam. Then there's a place here, Cologne, they do Frankfurt. And this region is called the Black Forest Highlands. I'll explain it further when I move ahead in the presentation. And these are some of the places which are more favorable when you're doing your longer haul itineraries of combined Europe. And this map on that side is just to show you that the entire map of Europe is put in the map of India. Europe is not a very big continent, and Germany roughly is the size of Madhya Pradesh, and it's one of the biggest territory in Europe. So these are the general whereabouts that we talk, like is actually Germany all about. Somebody mentioned that Germany is an expensive destination. Yes, we cannot compare it with any, but when you compare it with just paid about 20 euros. You can manage a vegetarian just 2 euros. You can manage a chocolate what to 4 euros. You can manage your accommodation, not 4-star or 5-star, but for a 4-star, between 80 to 100 euros. Feel that the itinerary, because chances are you'll get stuck in any of the bigger trade fairs where you can't find accommodation. In fact, it is ranked as number 2 cultural destination. People say food, but as I said, I'm a vegetarian. Even if the guys tell you, oh, sir, मैं तो पंजाब से हूँ. So you'll find a small restaurant run by a Punjabi everywhere in the smallest of the cities where you can't even find a people, but you'll find an Indian restaurant. Seen Lufthansa ad where they say, oh, you're traveling on Lufthansa, people are not. That's the case. Friendly people. I think it's just to do with certain age, and people just don't open up in first go. Like if you meet the same case, otherwise people gel really well. So that you need to remember. I would like to tell you, travel to other popular countries. But Germany, thankfully, we don't have that problem. And the slide refuses to move further. That you cut, it's loaded with a lot of alcohol and cherries. It's not as Indian version of the black forest. We have already talked about the these cartoons, Snow White, Rapunzel, maybe not the boys, but the girls. Actually, all these stories have origin in Germany. They are all Brother Grimm stories. Don't even have a happy ending. And to celebrate that, stories dedicated route called the fairy tale route. It's very popular. You see the plays, you see castles, Sleeping Beauty castle, the parades happening, Hamlin parade happening in the city. So that is rising for young ones. Party, nightlife. A lot of people said. So I don't know why most of these guys want to party and go to beaches, but the kind of response I got from everybody. Trance music, city of Berlin and in general from Germany. If you have seen DDLJ, it would remind you of the cowbell, right? Something similar, which is very typical, people think is from Switzerland, is the cuckoo clock, where a cuckoo comes right when the clock strikes at 12. But that's Germany again. It again comes from the Black Forest region, and you can actually have a demonstration of how a cuckoo clock is made and how cuckoo is put into it. So these are still hand. So actually it was done by a family called Ruba. So a lot of people mistake that it's the place Ruba. But then they just, I know like Swiss has a lot of culture of watches and all such things, but it's just started in. No, that's the reason why Black Forest is called Black Forest. So the leaves are so dark of the trees that you don't see them as green. You see them as black. That's why it's called the Black Forest. Yeah. And that's how the Black Forest comes. Oh, one little thing. So every time I say cuckoo clock, everybody has to say cuckoo, right? Cuckoo. Yeah. So that's just to keep you guys awake. And just a few things quickly about Germany. Why? I think then we should say Prost. So that's a German version of cheers. Yeah. Traveling in Germany is cheaper when it comes to accommodation. Probably when you are actually, in a travel and you compare the prices in Germany versus the quality that you get in France or Paris, she'll find that the hotel sizes are very small. The rooms are very small, the elevators are very small, you won't be able to fit in. So in general, Paris or France has smaller accommodation, whereas in Germany you have a bigger size room. Kind of hospitality behavior of Germans, they're very time precise. 10 means 10 for them. You can't delay to 10 too. When I travel with group of Indian agents, breakfast or bakery in the morning, and I have to apologize every day to the persons to meet us because these guys are always late. They don't understand that 10 is insulting them. So when you to me very much like Switzerland, right? You said, right? So it's because the same Alps that run through Switzerland, that run through Italy, that run through Austria, also have a little bit of that, so you can do all the snow activities. Looking at those, so popular for German. They have German centers all over India, right? Well, and for meat lovers, it's a paradise actually. So it's great. So you know, Switzerland, but people don't think of Germany. But there's a lot more actually. So we can share those itineraries. Yes, actually they promote this. This is the key theme that, but we have not been following in India for certain reasons. But our head office is gay and lesbian people. Yes. Fun fest. I've spoken about Oktoberfest. So can anybody of you tell me which is the largest festival in the world? In the world, I'm not talking about Germany. Largest cultural carnival fest here. Anybody? Yes, that's Rio Carnival. But we have, well, again, nobody heard of it. It's called celebrated around February, March time. It starts early around November. Actual period of that festival. And here this gentleman can be walking. And a lady can come and she can cut your tie. That's the tradition on that day. And there are fun parades, and each day is different where people do different things. So that's a lot of fun activity going on. There are beautiful castles. I'll show you pictures of a few castles as we move further. So these are the cities that I'll just touch base. I wouldn't go in detail. But these are the cities that are the key airport hubs. I'm sure you have heard of Frankfurt because it's one of the biggest airports in Europe, not just Germany. The second biggest airport is Munich. This is the little Black Forest region which I talked about. It is popular because it's very close to France and Switzerland. So people generally coming from France, going to Switzerland like to cover this place. These Cologne and Dusseldorf are big trade fair towns also, apart from being scenic towns. Hamburg is answer to Amsterdam for a lot of nightlife party. It's a port city. Berlin, a lot of history, but a lot of entertainment as well. And this is about our highest mountain, the Alps. We think of Zugspitze. I'll come and talk more. So we'll take the Lufthansa flight because it takes you directly into Frankfurt and Munich. Can you tell me any other carrier which takes you directly? And where? In Germany? Has to be an Indian carrier, so it's Air India. It takes you directly from Delhi to Frankfurt. It's a A380 flight. Now we go into Frankfurt. As I said, it's a bigger hub for air travel, so a lot of people try to stay in that area. Honestly, it is very commercial or very business-centric city. Like when we think of Mumbai versus Delhi, Delhi is more to do with culture. Mumbai is more of a business town. So that is Frankfurt in Germany. So I'm not like demoting Frankfurt at all, but honestly, if you're looking for something more fun for families, please don't send them just to Frankfurt or don't base them out of Frankfurt. Though there are a lot of options that one can do around Frankfurt, but not just Frankfurt. One thing which is very popular in Frankfurt is that river that you see. It's called Main, and the city is nicknamed as Manhattan. Like Manhattan, you have Manhattan in Frankfurt, so you can do river cruises. And on a sunny afternoon, you can see artificial beaches. So people in Germany are very fond of having beer all around the year. So they do their work, they get their work by 4:35, and they'll come with a can. But that's a very young, charming, buzzing thing that you see here. You can taste apple wine. Apple wine is the local wine of this place, but it would hit you. So mix the Rhine River. And they're beautiful towns that you can touch with, like Hamburg and Mannheim and such. Few you can see them. So next we come to the Rhine, Wine and Dine region of Germany, which is called Cologne. Does the word Cologne remind you of anything? Something that you use on daily purpose? The perfume. So from the fragrant water of Germany. Cologne was the first city that came with the UD Cologne, the perfume. 4711 is the actual perfume that they started with. But apart from that, another famous thing in Cologne is the Cologne Cathedral, which is here. It's one of the most famous pilgrimage sites for Christians because it houses the remains of the three wise men from Bible. And you should actually see the architecture. Pretty mesmerizing. The windows are painted from before they took off, and they're well lit up and everything. But one thing, if you're standing to take a full view of the cathedral when they're standing a little further off. So that's something that you need to try when you visit Cologne. But when I first talked about itineraries from Amsterdam or Netherlands, people directly come into Cologne with the close proximity. You can also think it like that, because Europe is not big in general. If you have something in Amsterdam, and Amsterdam is an expensive destination, and you want to base them in a bigger place, you can even think of Cologne. It's not very far off. They have high-speed trains, so it's a matter of 1.5 hours that you can reach Amsterdam. So that's what you can do. Cologne Carnival, I've already spoken about. Another fun thing to do in Cologne is the chocolate museum. So this is the museum which, everywhere there's chocolate leaking out. You go and do this. You can taste the chocolate for the fountain. So that's a fun thing to do, because they tell you chocolate is made. So that's interesting for young kids. And of lately, we have realized that a lot of people have started to travel to Europe in winters. Why? Because maybe they haven't seen snow. Anybody of you? So that's a kind of dream, to see Christmas in white snow. A lot of people are traveling to Europe, and German Christmas markets are popular because that's the tradition from where it started. So the Christmas tree tradition started from Germany. And they know how, or they have the oldest Christmas market that ever started in the world. So people travel to Germany a lot in winter season, especially from Western India, where people have never experienced such kind of winter at all. Coming to Dusseldorf. So that is our answer to fashion in Germany. All the bigger brands that come into Germany come into Dusseldorf first. But interesting fact about Dusseldorf is it also has the longest bar in the world. So there are about 260 bars and restaurants. They are located on one street, making it as one of the biggest or the longest bar in the world. It is one of the trade fair cities. So in case there's a trade fair going on in Dusseldorf and you can't find a place in Dusseldorf, make your client stay in Cologne. It's just about 40 minutes. You can take a high-speed train and you can be well connected to the city. Yes, for the architecture. So if you see that picture, there's two buildings, and they look as if they are falling. So Dusseldorf is very famous for that kind of architecture. You'll see one building where you'll see people climbing on it. These are the fun things, not on it, but structures that they have made it out. So it's a very, you can just walk around and see the fun architecture around. So this is another town city and in north. As I said, this is our answer to nightlife. A lot of people travel to Amsterdam, but we send them to Hamburg because numerous discotheques, numerous pubs, restaurants. But what else you can do when you're in Hamburg is fish market. Nobody wants to go to fish markets, right? The smell. Yeah. But let me tell you, farmers market and fish markets in Europe are a big charm. There you come across local people, how they do their groceries. You find cheap stuff, and you see maybe somebody selling just lavender leaves or bucket of strawberries or something like that. So this is a kind of a local experience that you get in these places, and you should not miss in case you have an option. Take your early morning, take a cycle, and just roam about the city. It has a lake called Lake Alster, so you can take wonderful boat trips on that. When you are taking this boat trip, maybe in the middle of somewhere, you'll find a lady taking a dip. Not an actual lady, but a structure, like a big structure in the middle of the lake. What is miniature wonderland? Tell you, it might not sound very interesting to you, but these are miniature created for the trains, for the airports. They show how the airports land. So it's a kind of miniature, but it's a very well crafted engineering. And in the backdrop, like the change, like in the morning, the scene looks like that. In the evening, it looks like that. So it's actually a worth visit. I'm sorry. Beatles is the famous group of singers that they started their career in Hamburg. So there's a famous square called the Beatles Square. And a lot of people who want to try their luck trying music, they come to Hamburg for that. The band. Because Beatles, they started their career from that place. Now we come. So maybe when you actually land into a travel agency, a lot of people would do Eastern European itineraries. Let me tell you, so far Eastern Europe is not that popular. You have very few people going to Hungary, to Czech, to Estonia, right? All these places come under Eastern Europe. So far people have been going to France, Spain, Italy and all these places. These are Central European. But Berlin also falls on the eastern side. If you remember the map, it was very close to Czech, right? And Poland. So these are the new Eastern European itineraries which have become the new trend because people have done Switzerland, people have done all the bigger cities. So Berlin, in combination of the next city which I'll talk about, Dresden, is one of the most hot-selling itineraries these days. I say Berlin reminds us of the Berlin Wall, right? And a lot of history. True, I'm not a history fan, but when I was doing one of my tours, it was fabulous. So the wall is no longer there. They had taken off the wall in 1988, 99. But what they have done, Berlin Wall, the structure, remind you of what these guys suffered from. And what they've done is they've painted it. There's a graffiti, and now they call it the East Side Gallery. It's called the largest East Side Gallery, where people come, they paint. So somebody has painted freedom. People from different countries have come, and they've expressed their aggression or anything, or emotions on the wall. Yeah. Will actually mention party nightlife. But I'd like to tell you that Berlin, when you want to 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. in the afternoon, woke up from my earlier party, I need to go to another party. Berlin is one place where you can walk into another party at 3 o'clock in the afternoon also. So maybe a lot of Indians can't do this, but a lot of Europeans do that. So they don't take a place in Berlin to stay when they come there for a weekend. They just come, party, sleep in any of the clubs, wake up next day, party, go to one of the beach bars, take a bath, and then come back to party. What are beach bars? Beach bars, that I explained you in Frankfurt, it's not a port city. There's a river called Spree. So people have thrown sand and made an artificial embankment and given it as a look of a beach. So again, like in summer, you can see, or in summers, people are taking a sun bath. It's just as good as beach. And bars, because people like to drink a lot in Germany. So you can see people drinking along the beaches. Adventure sports. You might remember it. It's called base jumping or the tandem jumping. It's not very expensive, and he did it from a hotel in Berlin. It's called hotel. So you can do that. And sky. You want to skydive? Can you tell me? I wish I can. I would like to accompany. Yeah. But can you? It's an average cost that you'll have to pay to skydive. Okay. In Europe, I can tell you that within a range of 120 to 170 in different places you can skydive. So it's not very cheap, and you can always trust German engineering, right? So Berlin gives you that kind of option. And you can even drive a World War II tank around the city of Berlin. So I know a travel agency based in Delhi who did this for their group. There were about 80 people, and they drove it around the city, outside the city, sorry. Another thing is called Trabi Safari, which is here. So these are the cars which are very centric to Eastern Germany. So back in 1980s, 90s, these were handcrafted cars made of fiber, and these took 5 years to deliver. Everybody took. Up is they've taken the entire fleet, they've painted with multiple colors, and they're very attractive looking. Somebody who just don't want to do a normal walking tour or sightseeing tour can take a Trabi Safari. So what you'll do, the first guide, they go in a fleet. So the first car will guide you where to go. There will be announcement going on, and you with your driving license can drive and follow those cars. And they've created in such a feeling that, there will be a policeman, a fake policeman, a cop will come and stop you, ask for your passport and stuff like that. And they'll make funny announcements, and they'll give you all the weird stories of the cities. So this is that you do, especially for group tours when you are dealing. So offers a lot of family-oriented stuff. For instance, this is one of the popular landmark of the city. Like Delhi has India Gate, right? We have something called the Brandenburg Gate. It reminds them of the World War, but this is how it looks. It's one of the most prominent here. Yeah. Oh, Shweta Rai, come get picture click. So Indians are quite popular, and Shah Rukh Khan is really popular. So all the girls, German girls, they love Indian movies because they always have a happy ending, but guys hate it. Another thing, what you Adam to thought, but we have a version of it. Not actually, it's quite interesting because maybe you have heard about Lido show in Paris. It's acrobats, dancers, and people say go with family. But this one is a similar version of this, but you can go with your family. Not cheaper, and it's actually the biggest show palace in Europe. We call it Friedrichstadtpalast. Very difficult to pronounce, yes. Easier way to remember is the Europe Palace or the Show Palace of Europe. You can choose. Now I come to my we're not in this picture. First people who come here, that they named it after Switzerland can't be part of Germany. So it's called Saxon Switzerland. Saxony is the state and Dresden is the capital of this state. It's a perfect harmony of architecture and nature beauty. A lot of honeymooners travel to this place. This place has a lot of Indian connects. So the emperor of Saxony, it's actually a family who ruled over the state for 700 years. He was very fascinated about Aurangzeb, though at that time he didn't know how Aurangzeb looked like. But he ordered his courtroom is in, at Red Fort, what is very popular. It has Chinese like, and there are elephants coming. Basically, it's the birthday of Aurangzeb, how he would celebrate his birthday. So there are ornaments coming, there are hathi and ghodas coming in, carrying all sorts of the Free India movement. Everybody knows Kohinoor was Indian, right? It went to UK, right? But it's green diamond. Yes, there's a green diamond also, which also belonged to Indian. Somehow the Brits again took it. And they sold it off to Germans. So this is also housed in one of the most Walt Museum. Car lovers that like to tell factory of Volkswagen. It's made of glass. You see each step of car manufacturing with your naked eye. It's so clean that you can even eat from the floor. It's that well kept. And you see how the cars are handcrafted, certain parts, how they are painted, how they are assembled. And very close to the city of Dresden, if you are interested in visiting any of the car factories, you can visit the Porsche car factory. The screenshot of Dresden. Very European in a way. You have Baroque architecture all over the place. There are old bridges. It was one of the UNESCO sites. And most of the tops of these monuments are dark because they have rusted over the years. So the city has a lot of history. In fact, most of the German cities, they have a lot of histories. During the World War II, 80% of these towns were destroyed and they are rebuilt. And that's why most of the city looks very modern. Munich. People know it because of one of the biggest to the Alps. Alps are the famous mountains. But before I ask you further, like call it Disney's castle also. So this was the actual inspiration for Disney's company to build their logo. So you'll see a lot of Americans, they come here and they're like, oh, this is ours. They don't realize this is the actual masterpiece and one of the most photographed sites of Germany. So people take a excursion. It's about 1.5 hours away from Munich. It's called the Neuschwanstein Castle. So it's a very pretty castle, and there's another castle, and in the backdrop you see the Alps. Football lovers. Nobody mentioned football to me, but can anybody name like what is the local club of Munich? A Bundesliga? Bayern Munich, correct. They have their own stadium in the state, and you can do a guided tour of that. And the beauty about that stadium is from outside, it changes the color depending on which team is playing. It can turn into red, blue, white, and green. No, from outside actually. I'll just show you. I have a picture of that. So these are the few. Is the name of that stadium. Does anybody remember the famous or the infamous Olympics that took in 1974, 26? The shootout happened and they killed a lot of Jews. So that happened anyways. And due to all those, you can. Apart from that, another very famous thing that is BMW Museum. Can anybody tell me the actually visit the BMW Museum and what about all the models from the past, which is a true delight. So, what they do, multiple poles hanging, take a shape of different of 7 million. So that's a very unique thing. It's away from agenda, especially women. Big towns, we have small villages, entire village meant for shopping where you get all the top German brands that come up to your mind right now. No? Do you know Adidas is German? You know Puma. These are some of the German companies. I won't name all of them. So you have stores, high-end stores. Imagine the footwear, the kind of stuff they have. Trust me, we don't get most of the stuff in India. And I got a watch for about 26 or 30 euros. So these places offer big discounts. They're heavily discounted. On top of that, if you fill a form, you can get 15% VAT back also. Whenever you're traveling in Germany, just take a form from any shop where you're shopping. Take that and submit it at the exit points or the airports and get your VAT reclaimed. So that way your goods are very cheap. This is the picture of Alliance Arena, the stadium which changes. This. You've heard about Titles, Jungfrau and other funny peaks? No? Yeah, where is it? Yeah, so we won't promote that. But I would like to tell you, this is our German peak. It's called Zugspitz. Can you pronounce it? Yeah. That's the closest pronunciation I know, but Germans pronounce it very differently. Anyways, so we say Zugspitz is half the price of Titlis and Jungfrau and twice the fun. Why? It's not as commercialized as any of the Swiss Alps. One. Second, you get the original beauty of the Alps. When you go to Switzerland, you realize there are so many Indians now. There are so many Gujarati aunties taking theplas, khakras on Swiss Alps. You get Swiss Gujarati food, but German Alps are still, natural to where they are. They offer 4-country panorama view. You can see 4 countries: Italy, Switzerland, Austria, and of course Germany. Same snow activities. I don't know how many of you would like to ski, but they are skiing resort. In case any of you want to get like if you're traveling. Basic any snow-based activity or experience that you are looking that you want to do in Switzerland, you can. The most important part in Black Forest region, I just want to base 3 places. One is Europa Park. Everybody wants to go to Disney Park in Thailand or Euro Disney in Paris. Sorry for pointing it out and again. But everybody thinks of Germany. In Europa Park. And in fact, this place sends or manufactures the rides for international Disney theme parks also. And the place offers 4 to 5-star accommodation within the theme park. Maybe a lot of Indians don't know, but Europeans, they know it really well. And the theme or the hotels within the theme park are sold. Europa Park is so much fun. I was inside the park for 2 days, and trust me, I couldn't take all the rides. You have to take a train from to section to another, and numerous possibilities. Every hotel does their own show. Every place is having maybe an ice skating show or something if you don't want to do rides. Popular place is Baden-Baden. So the lady from it's like that, Baden-Baden, they had to name it twice. So Baden-Baden is the ultimate luxury spa town. There are 12 thermal springs in the city. The city has a population of 50,000, and normal shoes you have games for automobile. Mercedes-Benz Museum. If you have to ask me if you want to visit BMW, Mercedes-Benz, the structure is from the future past. But actually this place is very inspiring for everybody. And this is the place with the second biggest beer festival apart from Oktoberfest. See, in Oktoberfest, maybe once place. What you need to do in Oktoberfest, you just need to reserve a spot for yourself in the tent. That's it. You need to probably, if the Oktoberfest takes place in September, you need to start a reservation in February. And there are some high-end tents or breweries in the city which don't, or they don't accept new clients unless you are their 10-year-old, 20-year-old client. The challenge. People queue up 6 o'clock in the morning just to enter the tent, and they keep drinking, and there are ferries going on. They have the ferries. Somebody, you can even see people drinking beer out of their shoes. People do such. Bollywood festival outside. Last is the Black Forest Highlands, extreme tip of the Black Forest region, and it's extremely scenic, extremely pretty. And as I said, because of the proximity to Switzerland and France, this place is very popular. I'll just show you a picture. This is how pretty the place looks. You have to send your clients to this place. This brings. I want to leave you guys, so I'll bombard you. And then we'll have session. So these are a few itineraries just to show you the routing where you can send your clients to. Do a little bit of God, which is Frankfurt. Sorry. Actually, this is Frankfurt Airport. It should be Berlin Airport. You land into Berlin Airport. You go to Berlin, go to Saxony, further come down to Nuremberg or Munich, and get out of Munich Airport. Many people combine Germany with other countries when they